Hey, it's Wednesday, February 4th, 2015. Where the hell you been? Welcome to the Alien Invasion number 132, a presentation of galacticnetcasts.com. I'm Dave Nelson. Joining me, as always, my co-hosts for 20 years, Brad Ludwig and Anessa Moy. How you guys doing?
God, has it been that long? It only feels like 3 or 4.
And it's amazing that we're only on 132. You'd think we would have done more episodes in 20 years.
We like to take our time.
Yeah, never rush things that you need to. Yeah.
If you want to do something, do it. Take your time. Do it right. Right?
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Slow and steady wins the race, or something.
If there's
That's what he said.
4-year gap between episodes, that's fine. You know, if it's got to be, it's got to be.
Yeah. Well, really, you could have a couple of episodes a year. You know, it's 20 years, and there's 130, 32.
But 2 really good episodes a year. You know, I mean, that's a lot of
2 to
prep.
3 if we're really ambitious.
All right. Welcome.
Actually, no, it would be more than that, but that's okay.
Welcome to the show where we talk about beings from elsewhere in the universe, aka aliens, aka extraterrestrials, and their appearances in film, TV, video games, comic books, science, and in real life. The show is, we do it. We break it down into 3 sections. First, the news. Then the craft corner. That's the spotlight of a certain kind of alien spacecraft. And then we tie the bow on our episode with the picks of the week. You want to watch us do the show live, follow Galactic Netcasts on Twitter, Facebook, or Google+, and we'll let you know when that's going to be, or you can watch the archive video at youtube.com/galacticnetcasts or galacticnetcasts.com/live. Now, I have a very important question for both of you guys. This is probably the most important answer that you'll ever give in your life. You ready?
Sure.
Okay.
Are you ready to start?
Oh, wait. I do have something before we start. It would be 6.6 episodes per year for 20 years to get 132.
Oh, that's too much. I can't handle that kind of schedule.
It's too hectic.
Yeah, I know.
But, okay, now, yes, I'm ready to start.
Brett, how about you?
Sure. Let's do this.
All right. Here we go.
In the news.
In the news, in the alien news for the week, Anessa's got the first story.
And it has to do with aliens. Surprise!
Wow, really? Huh.
Yeah, imagine that. Actually, this is like a rediscovered found footage thing. New footage, which an Australian magazine claims to have examined frame by frame, seems to show the body of an alien being handled by American soldiers in the 1940s. Conspiracy sites have seized on the footage, shot, as is obligatory, with cameras that never seem to focus properly. As evidence as alien bodies were retrieved from the Roswell crash in 1947. I took a look at this video, which is about 38 seconds in length. It's really short. There's a lot of camera movement, lots of people moving around, moving about. It's like in black and white. And you see a body laying there, and it's really hard to pick things out just because the video quality is so poor, but it just looks like someone's laying there. I can't really tell if it's an alien because, like I said, there's just so many figures moving about, and it's just kind of hard to see. But anyway, sadly, though, it seems to be rather similar in footage to the, quote, awful Hollywood film Ant and Dec's Alien Autopsy, and most UFO experts have turned their noses up at it. Philip Mantle, the UFO expert who dealt with the first Roswell film, describes it as, quote, utter bollocks, unquote.
Bollocks is a dirty word, too. Man.
I actually use bollocks quite a bit.
I mean, for us, for people in North America, bullocks is nothing. But like, if you're talking Britain, if you're talking Australia, that's like swear words almost, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just saying that something's rubbish. It's like a fat load of bollocks, and so
Okay,
yeah, it's
Daryl, you have to. Daryl, one of our die-hard, loyal listeners, he's going to have the final word on this. Is bullocks okay to say? Do we need to put a explicit sticker on our podcast? Daryl, let us know what we got to do. DJ, no.
I think it's okay. Well, for the most part, as long as we don't keep saying bollocks, 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 bollocks over and over and over again. But yeah, I mean, I think it can also be a positive thing, like he's the dog's bollocks, like the bee's knees sort of thing. But I could be wrong on that too.
Okay, depends. Okay,
So it just depends on the use, and that's what I've gathered. And I remember reading a book, and bollocks came up multiple times, and it was in a couple of different tones that it came up. So there's that. But anyway, I use it in the negative though, but that's just me. Anyway, so Nigel Watson, author of the UFO Investigates Manual, says there are several problems when dealing with new footage of such important event in the annals of ufology that would have a shattering impact on our concept of our place in the universe. He says, the first is, where did this come from and who filmed it? The Uncensored magazine says they rediscovered it but didn't go into details. We should also note that the infamous Roswell alien autopsy films released in the 1980s proved to be fakes or reenactments of footage that was lost. I'm told this was shot and used for the alien autopsy film starring Ant and Dec, and has previously been uploaded as if true in 2007, though that could be disinformation. Due to public pressure, internal investigations were launched by the U.S. General Accounting Office to disclose the truth of the matter. Their first report in 1995 confirmed that the wreckage was of a Project Mogul balloon. In 1997, their second report looked at the rumors and stories about recovered alien bodies. Sorry about that. And he goes on to say that this concluded that they were a combination of rumors and half-forgotten memories of missions involving the recovery of injured pilots or anthropomorphic dummies used in experimental projects unconnected with UFOs. In 2011, Roswell hit the headlines again when a book by journalist Annie Jacobson, Area 51, An Uncensored History of America's Top Secret Military Base, claimed that the aliens recovered from Roswell were actually genetically mutated 12-year-old children. They were sent by the Soviet Union to the USA in a remotely piloted aircraft to promote hysteria in the American population. Interesting.
They were from the Red Team, Brad. They were those trained killers, right?
Yep.
So, several years earlier, a similar theory was put forward by Nick Redfern, who claimed that the Roswell crash was caused by a balloon based on Japanese technology. The balloon was used to launch a glider that had a pilot and crew consisting of handicapped people. The object of this and other missions was to study the effects of radiation and high altitude on the human body. This new film adds yet another level of intrigue and mystery to the subject. Conspiracy theorists will no doubt claim that this part of the project is to make us slowly become aware of and accept the aliens who have been visiting us since that crash in 1947. And that's from the metro.co.uk.
I hope that someday we finally know the truth of this story. I mean, it's the biggest myth in the modern what's the word I'm looking for, in the modern era, I guess. The biggest myth, biggest mystery we've had for quite a while. I just hope we get an answer, a definitive answer someday.
On Roswell, yeah, that would be nice, but I'm not sure that would ever really happen. Because I mean, even if they came out and said it was the truth, you're still going to get people that are like thinking, are they really telling the truth? Why are they telling the truth now? What else are they trying to hide? And I think it's just going to be a consistent mystery there, whether or not they actually say the truth, or maybe they have been saying the truth the whole time. And we just don't want to believe it. We want to believe that there's more to the story than there is.
What's the word for that? Where it's the truth, but it's actually a lie. They say it's the truth, but it's the lie, but it's actually the truth. There's a word for that, isn't there?
A false flag.
False flag. Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you, Brad. Good job.
So, yeah, there you go. Like it, yeah, you never know.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was also thinking during when you were talking, reading through the article, that the internet is a very interesting place. It's so funny how something that was on a big deal like that. What was it called from the '90s? The movie, the Roswell, where they said the movie was from, where they said the footage was from.
Oh, like the truth, fact, or fiction type thing?
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
think it was that, or something with a similar name.
yeah. It's
Fact or fiction.
so interesting how footage from that has reappeared and then it gets repurposed for something else. Like people forget very easily for some reason in this modern era, in this day and age. People forget where things.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do is they have a lot more information that they have access to and have coming at them, that your brain is just going to start making room for all of this new, probably useless information, at least long enough for you to be like, oh, wow, that was really awesome. And then a couple weeks later, you just totally forget about it.
Good point. Very good point, Nessa. All right, you guys ready to move on? Any final thoughts on that story?
I don't think it's true, looking at the video.
Yeah, let's do a round. Let's do a consensus here. So Anessa says not true. Brad, your thoughts?
Not true.
I'm gonna say not true too. So the verdict is in. It's not true. Not a real video. Not real footage from 1947.
Yeah,
Now
I'm calling shenanigans on it.
All right.
Cheers.
USA Network orders Carlton. You guys know how to pronounce his last name? Cuse. C-U-S-E.
Cuse?
Cuse. Carlton Cuse's Colony. The CCC. The series.
Phew.
Yay, alliteration.
I do believe that we have discussed this. I looked back on older episodes when I was prepping this article this week, and I couldn't find it. So it must have been farther back, like earlier last year. But I know it's been somewhat recently that we talked about this.
Or maybe we talked about it, just not officially?
That's true too.
Because we do that a lot.
There's a third option that I was confused by another show that USA was working on that we had just talked about really recently. So that's also a possibility. Either way. The new sci-fi drama will star Josh Holloway from Lost. His name was Sawyer, right?
Yep.
And Sarah Wayne Callies. She's from The Walking Dead. Her name was Rick's wife. What's her name?
Oh, Lori.
Yeah. I told Steph about this series, and I told her that she was in it, and she's like, "I'm not gonna watch that show. I don't like her."
I didn't like her in The Walking Dead. She was an annoying character, and I was happy to see her go.
I'm glad that you're being honest with us, Anessa.
You're welcome.
But she may have a totally different character or personality in this, so we'll have to see. So Colony takes place in the near future, where Los Angeles is in a state of occupation by outside alien intruders. Some humans cooperate and work with them for their own selfish gain, while others rebel against the invaders but must face the consequences of their resistant actions. The series, which comes from Cuse and Ryan Condal, focuses on a family that becomes torn apart by these opposing ideologies as they must make difficult decisions and balance staying together with surviving the struggle of the human race. USA, this is the fourth new series that they've picked up for the 2015 season. It joins Mr. Robot, starring Christian Slater. I haven't heard anything about that series. Have you guys? Mr. Robot?
Nope.
Okay. Complications, starring Jason O'Mara.
Hey, I like Jason O'Mara.
Yeah, he's great. He's really good. And Dig, which stars Anne Heche. Additionally, Colony is the third new series that Cuse has co-created since Lost ended. It joins his two other current projects, A&E's Bates Motel and FX's The Strain, which I hear really good things about The Strain.
Yeah, I haven't really heard much about this strain. I've started watching Helix.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of. Helix. Yeah, I hear good
And
things.
that was from Sci-Fi.
Say again? What'd you say?
I said, and that was on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, okay. All right. I watched one episode of Helix, the premiere episode, and it didn't really catch me.
It's kind of zombie-esque, except what they call vectors are not actually deceased. But honestly, the thing that bothers me the most about this show is the fact that they're in the Arctic, and they mention that the temperature is -60 below zero, and that's not including wind chills, and yet they're going out with what you would normally wear maybe on a 15-degree day, which would be like a parka, but there's no face coverings. Occasionally you'll get someone that has something over their eyes, but I'm like, they're just kind of hanging out outside for minutes at a time, and I'm like, -60 below plus negative wind chills. Yeah, that's not happening.
Doesn't really add. Well, good thing, because the second season is not in the Arctic.
Okay, so
don't
it's...
worry about that.
All right. Well, at least that's one thing that won't really bother me as much then. But yeah, that was like my biggest gripe is like, you need to put on more clothes before you go outside.
You sound like a mother. Put on more clothes. Put on your mittens.
Put on your layers. Put on your scarf, your mittens. And there was one character that actually had a mask on, like full face coverage, and a huge jacket, and I felt somewhat better, but that was short-lived because then she just ran around outside without any of that coverage. So anyway.
That's Ronald D. Moore, right? That's his series?
Yeah, that's his series.
Okay. So you guys excited about this, The Colony, with the writers, the producers, and the actors involved? And the story, I guess.
I'd have to see previews and stuff to get more of a feel of how it's like the tone, I guess, of the show, the vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat there.
I'm a little confused by the story because it says that it's Los Angeles. Is that the only place on the Earth where these aliens are, or is it the whole world? That I'm a little bit confused over.
It may just be that perhaps it's just Los Angeles and they've got some sort of force field that blocks them out from the rest of the world while they set up camp.
Okay.
Something similar to, what was the BBC radio show that we listened to? Like, Hello, Please Invade Carefully or something, where the village had a force field around it which blocked off communications with the rest of the world.
Okay.
And that would also be similar to Battleship.
Battleship. You mean the movie?
With Rihanna? Yeah.
I don't remember that part in that movie. I don't remember.
Yeah, because you had the, I forget the name of the actual ship that was kind of off the coast of Hawaii, but it was closed off from the rest of the world. It had no way of communicating because the aliens had put up a barrier.
Oh, I don't remember that.
So that way they could safely get to the island, and set up communications and stuff with their remaining fleet. And but yeah, there was kind of a force field around, and once they were able to damage the ship or whatever that created the force field, it finally fell, and they were able to communicate with the outside world and coordinate a full-on attack with the aliens to defeat them.
Didn't they use some, like,
Well, while they had, like, no communication or access to satellites, they used NOAA data to look at the displacement of the buoys in the ocean to determine where the aliens were in the water.
Interesting. Man, you know a lot of little details about that movie. that I picked
It
up
was
on.
on TV, I think, when I was in Del Rio or something. I watched it recently, and I don't remember why.
Okay.
But it was on for some reason. I'm like, okay, I'll watch it.
Hello,
I didn't
Aliens.
hate it.
That's why you watched it. Aliens. No,
Huh?
it's a good movie. It's a really good movie, actually.
Yeah, it's an entertaining movie, and it was on. I just remember it was on, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go ahead and watch this again. Oh, I know, I was in Denton. That's why. And James and I were flipping through the channels, and Battleship was on. We're like, oh, let's go ahead and watch Battleship. So,
Good enough. All right.
yep. Like
So,
there's a reason why I watched it.
Keep this on your radar, folks. Colony coming to USA Network in the States, and who knows what other channels worldwide. I'm very aware of that now, after living in Canada. The whole, how we're very much USA centric, and it's oftentimes we do have listeners from other parts of the country. So, I'm just thinking, describe things more often in not USA terms, but worldwide terms.
Well, you
Fair enough.
describe them in the terms that you're most familiar with. And that's kind of the cool thing about listening. If you're a non-native American or citizen of the U.S., then if you're listening from overseas or from Canada, it's kind of nice to hear a different perspective on things. And so people could listen for that reason too.
Yep. All right, let's move on to story number 3, and it is Brad. So, Brad, what do you got for us?
Well, the Stargate movie that we from 1994 that gosh, I've probably seen at least 5 or 6 times. I absolutely love that movie.
James Spader is in that. Who else?
James Spader, Kurt Russell. Those are the big ones that I recall. But the movie is they're going to make a new one. It's not going to be a sequel. It is going to be a reboot.
Of course.
Good news, original movie director Roland Emmerich is on to produce and direct it. So the only piece that they had, and what this story is about, is they finally found a pair of screenwriters to actually make this thing happen. And Nicholas Wright and James A. Woods, both who have a long list of small parts in various films, are in final negotiations to write the script of this new intended trilogy of Stargate movies. So they're not making one, they're making at least 3.
Because
At least that's the working plan.
that's what you do with everything these days. You have to
Yes.
for a series and
Everything in 3s. Both also worked on the script for Independence Day 2, another thing that Emmerich is working on. Dean Devlin, the original Stargate scribe, is also on to produce. With so much of the same, it's hard to speculate on whether anything from the original will be changed that much, or maybe it will be updated a bit. Will they just kind of dust off and kick that gigantic Stargate circle into action? I guess we'll see when they finally put a date on this and make the magic happen and put it in the theaters.
I hope that they don't change the Stargate too much, the actual Stargate itself, because that was one of my favorite parts of both the original movie and all of the series is afterwards. Although I didn't like Stargate Atlantis's Stargate. Looked too modern. I like the ancient-looking Stargate.
Yes. With a nice hand-chiseled chevron look to each of the icons. Yes.
So it's they're going to pretty much blow out everything that's followed since, and they're going to start over again.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
What would you guys
complete reboot?
What would you guys like to see different from the original movie? Is there anything that or do you think it's pretty good the way it is?
I liked it the way it was. I don't recall wanting anything to change about the movie. At least not off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah, I don't think I really had any complaints about it.
Brad?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, to me, Stargate, The Fifth Element, those are movies I could watch. I could watch on repeat. I could sit and watch that movie on a loop for like 6-8 hours and not bat an eye.
Hmm.
They're perfect sci-fi films for me.
Okay. All right. I really like the whole ancient Egypt vibe, like, and the whole story of how aliens came here and influenced our society. You know,
Hmm.
it's so fascinating. You know, that's they cover that kind of stuff on Ancient Aliens a lot of times.
Yeah, it's
Not
just
saying it
a
was
really
aliens.
smartly told story. And James Spader's portrayal of Daniel was just he was just like at the top of his game of being James Spader and as an actor. And gosh, that performance he gives is so earnest and so believable that God, it's going to be hard to reboot it and not and to do it justice, really.
Was that James Spader's first foray as a leading man? I know he had done a lot of supporting roles, a lot of '80s movies. He was like the douchebag.
Yeah, Less Than Zero and I I'm only speculating here, but I think if he had been a leading man before, it wasn't as rememberable as this performance in this film with him being a leading man.
Okay.
It's such a wonderful and powerful performance of that character that I mean the actor that ended up playing him in the TV show, I didn't like him as the Daniel character.
Okay. Valid opinion. We'll take it. All right. Yeah, I think the only thing they really need to do is just modernize it a little bit and we'll call it good. You know?
I know Kurt Russell's flat top was a little much.
What do you pick for those characters? Of the actors floating around right now, who would you pick as Daniel and the Kurt Russell character?
I would love to see Daniel Radcliffe play the character of Daniel.
Oh, he'd be good.
I can see him being good with that.
Plus, he wouldn't be on set when somebody called his name.
It's an easy enough thing to remember. No, I mean his performance as and granted, I've only seen his Harry Potter stuff, and I've seen him in interviews.
You
I have yet
did
to see
an
Horns.
episode of
Oh yeah, that
Doctor's Notebook or something.
yeah, the Doctor's Notebook. I saw him in that. That's right.
Yeah, you saw him at least an episode or two of
God,
that, which is
in that he was so believable as a fish out of water doctor that I could really buy him as playing the character of Daniel in Stargate. I would love that as a casting. But Kurt Russell's character, gosh, I'm trying to think of somebody who's
J.K. Simmons?
too old.
Yeah, okay. I don't ever do well trying to think of actors like for specific things like this.
Boy, yeah, this could drag on for a while, but yeah, off the cuff, Daniel Radcliffe is the actor for Daniel. Absolutely.
Right. Done and done.
That's my vote.
Okay, that's your news. Moving on to this. Hang on, that's the wrong one. Here we go.
Please identify the craft you witnessed.
A black, triangular, three-dimensional shape, huge, just flying, hovering limits.
Shaped like almost like between an egg and like a teardrop.
Two long cylinder objects flying over me.
It had its own. I could see the occupants in it.
Appeared to be rotating, and it was on circular and disc shape, and it hovered for maybe about 5 minutes.
It is time to take a look at a famous spacecraft in history. Could be the history of the Earth, could be the history of cinema or entertainment. And that's where we're drawing from this week as we take a look at the TIE Fighter from the Star Wars universe.
What?
Now, when you think of the Galactic Empire, you really don't think of them as aliens, right? They seem pretty human-ish.
Agreed.
But in this case, they are aliens because we are doing a show all about aliens. So their craft, TIE fighter, propelled by 2 ion engines. Which, by the way, I did some reading on ion engines. They would make really, really bad fighters if they actually used ion engines because it takes forever for the craft to get going. Even to just go a few miles an hour, it takes a couple of days to get it going. So I don't think it would really work too well. But anyways, in the fictional world, ion engines propels the TIE fighter, and hence the TIE acronym, ion engines, T-I-E, ion engines? I don't know what the T stands for. Not sure. Anyways.
Terrible.
Yeah, okay. Well, they are fragile, but they're fast. They're fast and fragile. They were the standard Imperial starfighter seen in massive numbers throughout most of the Galactic Civil War on and onward. Rebel and New Republic pilots referred to the craft as eyeballs. That's freaky. The TIE fighter was a descendant of the TIE starfighter, T.I.E. starfighter, and the V-wing starfighter. Do you guys know what those look like? Do you remember seeing them? Either of those?
It's not ringing any bells.
Do me a favor, Brad. Could you
Okay.
click on the links and then maybe share your screen? Because there's handy-dandy links here.
What?
Yes.
So, I do recall seeing the V-wing. If Brad's gonna bring it up on screen.
Yep, I'm bringing it up now.
Okay, well, as you do that, there's different models. There's the TIE SA, which is a bomber, the TIE IN, an interceptor, a TIE D, a defender, and a TIE D automated starfighter, and many other models of the basic TIE fighter, the standard TIE fighter. And Brad's got.
Looking at this, it almost looks like it's a W wing, doesn't it? There you got the downward stroke, and then the partial upward, and then the partial downward, and then the upward stroke again. That's a big W here.
Mm-hmm.
It's freaking me out, man. It's freaking me out.
And it looks like a X-wing fighter, in a way.
Yeah, it looks like it's a hopped up X-wing fighter for reals.
Okay. Do you want to click on the? What is it? The V-wing starfighter, or was that what we were looking at?
We were looking at the V-wing.
On TIE, the first one. Now, folks listening, if you want to see what we're talking about, go to the video on our YouTube page.
Well, this is really sad because it's like, oh, TIE starfighter, and here we have the person that looks like the person that created the engine design in the comics. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not what
he looks like a Romulan.
He looks like something.
Okay, there you go.
There.
That looks more like the original, like the TIE fighter that we know and love.
Well, this one's a little bit different. This is the TIE drone, but yeah, it looks more like the TIE fighter, but it is a drone craft. With a sensory array. Let's go here. The TIE Defender.
I didn't realize till reading the article how many different variations.
There we go. The TIE Defender's got not 2, but 3. That's so it can gather all the starlight to power the drive. I don't know. I'm making that up.
No, they actually use solar power. That's what those big surface
collectors, those wings,
yeah. So all kinds of varieties, flavors of your TIE fighter.
Oh, it's crazy. Too many ties.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Hey, that's a title.
It is too many ties.
Too many ties.
Yeah. I gotta write that down so I don't forget it.
That's a fancy looking one. That's got more of the pointed, instead of the octagonal or hexagonal panels that you're used to. That's more of the. Actually, you see this in the. Crap.
That's Invaders, isn't it? That's the type or the model of TIE
Yeah,
fighter.
that's the Interceptor. The yeah, it's in the Star Wars films. I remember seeing, but I was just saying in the animated Disney XD, not Clone Wars, or I can't remember what it's called now. Rebels. They had one of these in an episode that I caught.
Just that iconic sound that they make is just that really, when you hear that, you know
yes,
it's Star Wars.
you know what's what.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Brad. Thanks for the assist. There's a lot more about these bad boys. Hang on one second. Let me get back down to the article. Okay. Now, the TIE's engine was one of the most precisely manufactured propulsion systems in the galaxy, and with no moving parts, was low maintenance. The lack of combat shields, hyperdrive, and life support systems, in concert with the advanced engine design, reduced the mass of the fighter and conferred exceptional maneuverability. Let's see. Primary armament is a pair of laser cannons, lasers, which are relatively powerful, and a well-placed hit on the starfighter or medium transport could damage or destroy it. Yeah, these things, you're taking your life into your own hands if you're a TIE fighter pilot, definitely.
Yeah, I'm guessing that the benefits plans must have been amazing to get people to pilot those things. That's all I'm saying. Okay,
so they, like I said before, there's no life support, so each pilot is basically in a self-contained suit. The TIE fighters also lacked landing gear, another mass-reducing measure. While the ships were structurally capable of sitting on their wings, they were not designed to land or disembark their pilots without special support. On Imperial ships, TIEs were launched from racks in the hangar bays. And they didn't have a star drive, so they were definitely, they had to rely on carriers, which, like the big-ass ships. That's what I call them, the big-ass ships. That's my name. I'm sticking to it.
There. I don't remember the ass ships.
No. They were often used but never seen.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's something.
So that's pretty much it on the TIE fighters. There's a few other things, and we'll have the links in the show notes. But if you're a connoisseur of the Star Wars, I know we got Episode 7 coming up later on this year. So now is the time to bone up on your Star Wars information and stuff. So get on it. That's all I got to say.
Get on it.
All right, that's your Craft Corner. Let's move on to our picks. These are things that we have read, listened to, watched, or consumed during the past week, and we recommend them to you. And they're all alien-related. So here we go, Brad. You get us going.
What? I'm first?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Were you not ready?
It would seem that I am not now.
I can go, and then...
No,
okay.
No, I lost track of my windows. I had all the Star Wars things open, and I'm like, and I closed the wrong one. All right. Here we go.
Pick time.
My pick is it's a game I've been playing on my phone off and on. It's an app, and it's called the Middle Manager of Justice. And it is a game where you are middle management, and you've been hired to help a superhero agency better defend the area, the city that you're in. Now, yes, it's superhero based, but one of the heroes is called Galaxy Girl. And
I love that.
This game is just—it's ridiculous. Here we go.
It's addicting.
It really is. And she is she had visited the Earth, and she found out that her planet exploded. So she's like sort of Superman, but not quite. And I'm trying to find her list of powers here, and I am failing miserably. Here we go. Let's try this. Come on.
So what type of game is this?
It is an app that you can play on iPhone, and you can get it through Google Play.
Okay, so it's available on both iOS and Android.
Yeah,
Correct.
because Brad has Android and I have iOS, and it's funny because I think it was one of the editor's picks or something. It was on display on iTunes, and that's how I found out about it. And I'm like, huh, that sounds interesting. I'm just going to download that. And then I started playing it, and Brad was playing,
Oh, God,
I think,
it was horrible.
he was playing his
addiction.
PlayStation, and I played it a couple of times. And then, like, finally when he wasn't playing, was it Justice League or something? I forget
Yeah,
what
I
it
was
is he played
playing
on.
DC Universe
Oh, yeah.
Online.
Yeah, DC Universe Online. And so once he was finally done with that, I'm like, hey, sweetie, check this out. And he's like, oh, okay. And then, like, a day or two later, he's like, I heard the music. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, he's playing the game. Yeah, it's great because you train your superheroes and level them up and gain abilities and fight the different monsters and bad guys and aliens and yeah.
So did you find the powers yet, Brad?
No, and it's really upsetting.
I don't have Galaxy Girl, so I don't know what her deal is, but different superheroes have different things. You have one superhero who uses like electricity, and he'll like summon power from satellites, and it'll like come and zap everybody. So, and then another one will. She's really depressing. She's kind of goth and like, oh,
And
whatever.
her weapon is a boomerang.
Her weapon's a boomerang.
Yeah, her name is Gloomerang.
Yeah, and it's funny because like you can actually improve her skill to like if they get hit by her and take damage, then the enemies start to lose like their motivation to attack, and they get -2 or minus however many points on their attack rolls. And
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Sounds really enjoyable. And I hear the music in the background. Brad's got it
yeah. And they'll change things up a little bit too according to season. So for like Christmas, they had like the office area decorated with little Christmas tree and wreaths, and but yeah, and they have wonderfully cheesy lines that they say to the enemies as well.
Here is and for those of you who okay, I'm going to put this up on the screen here, so if you're checking out the video, so this is what I'm looking at her resume at this point. Her bio: Galaxy Girl's planet was destroyed while she was vacationing on Earth. Bummer for her, but great for your branch. She is now a cosmic force for hire. Galaxy Girl's resume: objective, and it's written out just like a resume. So her resume: objective: to protect citizens of Earth with my intergalactic crime-fighting abilities. Summary: Son of Zeep, are you lucky to get a resume of this caliber? Before getting stranded here, I was a highly sought after Star Defender anti-planet annihilation unit. Ridding Earth of crime should be undemanding of my abilities. Work experience: Defender of Aquaball, let's see, special powers, heal warp, so she can heal the entire team.
Oh, that's neat.
Focused Zerp, which she has antenna on the top of her head, so she actually kind of puts out a zapping beam of energy from her antenna. And frozen time, so she can actually freeze somebody in a block of ice so that they can't move. References: Zeep, Supreme Ruler of Akobol, Zixil, General of Akabal Guard, wife of Zeep.
Funny name.
It's a very, very tongue-in-cheek game. You level up characters, you level up your facility, you need money to do that, so you actually have the ability to do office work or desk work, and it looks like they're telemarketing. So they'll sit at a desk and work at their computer and take a phone call and, make money for the operation. So it's one of those. Sorry?
It sounds like a tiny tower or a tiny Death Star type of game mechanic. Like you're managing something. Well,
yeah.
It's in the name, obviously.
And there's also a map, so you get a notification that there are enemies and that are causing problems in the area, and then you have to go instruct your team members. And as you level up, you can hire more heroes. There are up to 10 heroes that you can hire. You can only have 4 on a mission, so you kind of have to manage and make sure that all of your team members are healthy and able to fight. And within the game, as you go through, and I've seemed to have gone beyond storyline at this point, but there are like four major bosses that you go through, and it's all storylines up until you defeat the 4th boss, and then it's just kind of free flow after that. There's no storylines. I don't know if they have plans to do more, to add more storylines or whatever to the game in the future, but it's a very fascinating game. It's called The Middle Manager of Justice, and it's available for iOS and Android.
Such a great name. Sounds very interesting, tongue-in-cheek, entertaining, very light. It sounds perfect.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it was really a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you, Brad. Good choice, good pick. I'm kind of going in that same direction, but different. So my pick this week is the Galaxy Trio. Have you guys ever heard of the Galaxy Trio? Does that ring a bell?
That's old 60s Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, exactly. It was part of Birdman.
Oh, okay.
It was Birdman was a superhero who was like a bird or had bird powers, and they would throw in an episode of the Galaxy Trio in between the Birdman episodes. There'd be Birdman, then there'd be the Galaxy Trio, and then Birdman episodes. And they ran in the late 60s, starting in 1967, going through 1969. Saturday morning cartoons. And Brad was right. Hanna-Barbera produced these. And the episode I want to talk about is, I believe it's episode 2, so it's early on in the series. It's the Battle of the Aquatrons. The villain Lotar is directing powerful heat rays at the planet Earth that are capable of melting the polar ice caps and turning the planet into a water world for his use.
Waterworld.
Bum,
Yeah.
bum, bum.
Without Kevin Costner. The Galaxy Trio must race to stop Lotar's evil plan and save Earth. The story was in the middle of the Birdman episodes, The Ruthless Ringmaster and Birdman versus the Mummer. They aired in 1967, like I said, early on in the episode's run. And I told you all about it ran through 1969. Eventually, or not eventually, but during this time, Hanna-Barbera also had a comic book published through Gold Key Comics, and they had some issues as part in conjunction with the actual series. In 1997, they were featured in issue number, or they weren't, but Birdman was featured in issue number 5 of DC Comics Cartoon Network Presents Toonami comic book series. So it came back fairly, well, not fairly recent, but not back in the 1960s. Now, I want to break down the Galaxy Trio for you. They are a group of 3 extraterrestrial superheroes: Vapor Man, Meteor Man, and Gravity Girl. Kind of like yours, Brad. That's where the connection was. Gravity Girl. They patrol space in their cruiser Condor 1, maintaining order and fighting evildoers in the name of the Galactic Patrol Law Enforcement Agency. The ship was equipped with a displacer very similar to the transporter device on Star Trek, which was on TV at the same time. So Vapor Man has the ability to transform part or all of his body into gaseous form, enabling him to fly, escape from physical bounds, and squeeze through very small spaces, as well as producing various forms of vapor from his hands. Meteor Man is a native of the planet Meteorus. Meteor Man is, they don't really stretch themselves too much back in the 1960s.
No.
Meteor Man is distinguished by his ability to increase or decrease the size of any part of his body, which could come in handy if he wants to have the little, bam, bam. Talking about. He gains superhuman strength in any limb that he chooses to enlarge. Sounds so dirty. Gravity Girl has the ability to bend the laws of gravity to her will, allowing her to fly and lift very heavy objects with her mind. The daughter of the king of the planet Gravitas, she left her luxury home and the life of privilege at an early age to fight crime with the Galactic Patrol, and was subsequently assigned to the Galaxy Trio team, with whom she has served ever since. And that pretty much sums up the Galaxy Trio and the episode The Battle of the Aquatrons. And these guys, they couldn't, survive on land. They were below the Earth, and how the Galaxy Trio was able to fight them was they took an oxygen pill. And that allowed them to breathe underwater. And then the Aquatrons, they had to put a helmet on with water inside. That's how they were able to maintain themselves above the water. Just want to clarify how that all worked. But I recommend that you check it out. There's a bunch of episodes on YouTube. If you want to relive your Saturday morning cartoon experience as a child, check out Birdman and the Galaxy Trio. All right, Anessa, it's your turn. What's your pick?
I pick Lego Batman 3.
Yay! You guys were really on a superhero kick this week.
Indeed. Actually, I was going to use this pick a while ago, and then I think we didn't podcast or something, and then I went to Texas, and then I went to the Alien Convention, and now I finally get to use it. But I ended up getting this for Christmas from Brad, and we've played it quite a bit, and it's a lot of fun. The description from Lego.com, I'll just read a chunk of it, says, in Lego Batman 3, Beyond Gotham, the Caped Crusader joins forces with the superheroes of the DC Comics universe and blasts off to outer space to stop the evil Brainiac from destroying the Earth. Using the power of the Lantern Rings, Brainiac shrinks the worlds to add to his twisted collection of miniature cities from across the universe. Now the greatest superheroes and the most cunning villains must unite and journey to different Lantern worlds to collect the Lantern Rings and stop Brainiac before it's too late.
Dum dum dum.
Bum bum bum. But yeah, you get to play a lot of characters, because I've played Lego Batman, the first one, and then I bought the second one but never got around to playing it. I played it a little bit, I think, and you do start to get to play different characters, but from 1 to 3, it's such a big difference because in Lego Batman, you're primarily just Batman and Robin for the bulk of the game, and you can unlock characters and go back and replay and find different things, and so you can play different characters, but through the storyline, you're just Batman and Robin for the most part. And with Lego Batman 3, you have the ability to play all sorts of characters throughout the story, just depending on where it takes place. So we've played heroes. We've played the Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter.
Yep.
And like Wonder Woman, and it's great because like with Wonder Woman and Superman, anytime that they start flying, their theme song starts to play. And I just get so excited. I don't know why.
Wait a second. The 1970s Wonder Woman theme?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yes, it's wonderful. And then once you land, then the theme music quits. But for the duration of the flight, that's what's playing in the background is Wonder Woman or Superman is flying around is like their theme song. But yeah, like you end up having to, and we've really just gotten to deal with Brainiac quite a bit because he's going from one major city to another major city or major tourist attractions, and he's shrinking them down, putting them in glass bottles, and adding them to his collection. And like you're really, having to try to battle him. And there are times where you end up getting shrunk down in size, and then you have to wait till you get big again before you can still cause some damage. But yeah, no, it's a hoot to play through. And they have Adam West. His character gets trapped and stranded in random places, and you have to save him. But you have to be, most of them you have to play through as a certain character in order to unlock it. It's not the initial characters that you play with through the level through the first time. But yeah, you'll hear him like, "Oh, hello, I'm Adam West. I seem to be stuck behind this waterfall," or whatever it might be. It's like, can you help me? And you end up going into space onto. Brad will have to help me with the names of things, but there's like the base that's floating out in space, and Conan O'Brien is.
Oh yeah, Conan O'Brien is just hanging out, and it's the
he's just hanging out, and
the Justice League space station.
Nice.
And you can go and you can like talk to Conan. He's like, "Hey, I hear they call this place the hangar because this is where all the crafts like to hang," or whatever. Just cheesy lines like that, and he'll tell the occasional joke. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I recommend it, especially playing with another person to really help liven it up. And of course, you run into the usual problems if you're playing with a second player is accidentally breaking the other player.
What? Explain this. I don't understand. What?
Okay, well, because you're Lego characters, and a lot of the Lego games, the thing that I love about the Lego games in general is there's a lot of destruction, because you end up finding different objects. You collect little Lego bits just by destroying things. So you might have like a chair or a table or a door that you can just go and hit, and if player number 2 happens to get in your path while you're hitting something, then they break as well.
No.
And they lose all their little gold bits. So yeah, there's that, and it's always amusing and occasionally frustrating because you're like, I'm so close to finishing building this item, and then like Sweetie comes and like hits me or vice versa, and then we have to like start all over with building the item. So there's a lot of destruction, there's a lot of construction going on. Lego games oftentimes have like a puzzle type component to them, so you have to figure out what it is that you need to do to get beyond that level or that room into the next room. And sometimes you have to activate switches first before you do this, and just, yeah, there's all sorts of ways that you can get through the game, and I really have been enjoying Lego Batman 3.
What platform? Like PlayStation or Xbox? Or...
We've been playing it on the 360, Xbox 360.
Okay.
But
Alright.
it's available PC, PlayStation 3,
Awesome.
4,
Platform.
Xbox One, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. All right, awesome. Great picks, one and all, in review. We had Lego Batman 3. We had the Galaxy Trio as part of Birdman. I love that. And Middle Manager of Justice. So there you go. We'll have the picks on our picks page at galacticnetcast.com. And the links will be in the show notes, too. Just click on those, and you can buy that stuff from Amazon, the ones that you can actually get through Amazon. All right. You can find the Alien Invasion by going to alieninvasion.galacticnetcasts.com. Watch our episodes at youtube.com/galacticnetcast. Search for us on iTunes and Stitcher, as well as TuneIn Radio. If you do the iTunes route, please give us 5 stars if you like us, and leave a positive review. That helps us get more listeners, and we love more listeners. And also, do us a favor and recommend us to your friends, family, or pet, and they can enjoy us as well. Leave us feedback by emailing galacticnetcast@gmail.com or call our voicemail 805-328-3966, 805-328-3966, and leave a message. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google Plus as well. Before we get out of here, we encourage you as well to check out our other podcasts by going to galacticnetcasts.com. On the next episode of the Sci-Fi Geeks Club, we'll be running down our favorite time travel movies with podcast host and author David Fiore. And then on the Weird World Weekly, Matt and I will be running down the list of strange tales of subterranean civilizations. And,
What?
Yeah. Fun stuff there on the Weird World Weekly and Sci-Fi Geeks Club. So check them out at galacticnetcast.com. Final thoughts. Brad, you're going first.
The table is finishing up there. I'm working on mounting the hardware to that. So I think next week we'll be doing the show from the new podcast table.
Awesome. Well, good luck with it.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you got
I am too.
camera together, new microphones, newfangled everything. It's gonna be awesome. All right, cool. Good luck. I can't wait for that.
Me too.
Okay, and Inessa, your final thought, and then we'll get out of here.
I'm crocheting.
What are you crocheting? It's purple.
It's purple. I'm making a scarf.
Oh, awesome.
Well, it's an infinity scarf, so it's a nice, simple project, making it for a friend. So
Infinity and beyond scarf.
To infinity and beyond. And I love the color, but I'm not a particular fan of the yarn. So yeah, it's my way of. It's nice and soft though once you actually like have it crocheted, but working with it I don't like.
Okay. Yeah, that's
anyway.
the thing with crocheting, because my wife also crochets, and you don't know what it's like to work with the yarn until you actually start working with the yarn. So that's the part.
Yep, I'm new. I just started back in September, so
well,
I'm learning.
Looking good there, Inessa.
Thank you.
All right, and that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody, and until next time, we'll talk to you then.
Woo!
Bye.